in. Nah.
What now?
There was supposed to be no pins in the hall. Like you can't take the flag out. There was only one person.
Golfing.
There was nobody following that.
All right, so we're talking about once again, this social experiment that is taking place as we speak. Now, I don't think anybody would say that the pandemic is not a real thing. It's a real thing. We know that. But man, it's like they say, you never let a tragedy go to
Yep.
So because of it, they have to instill fear, and then they can make the changes that they wanted to make. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, it's still bad for all the big businesses that don't know what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, small businesses.
There's a lot of
Really
businesses
small
that will
businesses.
Never, yeah.
recover. But yeah, listen, I have no problem with the highways being less congested.
It wasn't.
Yeah, but
it wasn't less congested on my way here.
when I come in at now I'm coming here at like
It's the
6,
same?
6:30. It's busy.
So it's not doing what I at least, because if people do start working from home, they realize they don't have to go into the office, and businesses recognize that and then let their people work from home. You would hope it would free up.
Our brother said he sat in traffic for an hour and a half yesterday, and he won't come home from Wilkes-Barre. He's like, it's right back to like normal traffic.
Well, we know that right out here.
Yeah, I guess it's right where it used to be too, going up.
Because they're doing at the split. They're working at the split.
Can you give this to Tim?
It's crazy.
I didn't see
coming
it,
both
so
ways.
typical.
Like
He knows you have it.
even going homes like this.
But like I say, is it a reality? It's real, and yes, it's contagious. Even though the CDC yesterday says it's not as contagious as they thought on surfaces.
What does that mean?
Which means, you know how we're wiping everything down and disinfecting it? In other words, it doesn't matter that much.
Well, because they're saying.
I mean, we should still wipe things down and disinfect them.
But they came out and said weeks ago that, you don't have to wash your clothes now after you go to the grocery store or work, because the probability of a little tiny droplet getting on your clothes and you touching it is.
So in other words, they don't have to worry about controlling that.
It's crazy.
Listen, I was listening on the way in today to Fauci, back in January, saying that this isn't a big thing. Don't worry about it. You don't have to change any of your behaviors.
And it changed everything.
And then in March saying, well, if we would have done something sooner, it probably would have saved some lives.
Yeah,
Well,
changed.
who do you think they blame for that?
Trump.
Yeah. But yet he was listening to Fauci, and that was Fauci's
It's crazy.
call.
I was surprised. We went to like 3 golf courses. They were so full, and because they were just having their golf leagues. So like,
Are people wearing masks?
And you're outside.
Yeah.
they didn't even care if we were.
That's what blows my mind
to the clubhouse.
most, like watching somebody walk down the street by themselves with them.
Or when they're in their car.
Or driving
with them on.
by themselves.
Driving's ridiculous.
I saw 2 of
And
those.
gloves, masking gloves.
Yeah, driving.
I saw 2 of the people today on my way here driving with the mask on. Like, what is your problem?
Yeah, the clubhouse didn't even care. We walked in, had a mask on, and nobody had one on in there.
Well, I stopped at Subway yesterday, and I walked in, and nobody had a mask on that worked there, but I had my bandana, so I pulled my bandana up. So as I pull my bandana up, I look, and they're all putting their masks on. They probably figured, well, if he's putting his on, I better put mine on.
Yeah, people are just tired of it. Plus, it sucks wearing them, especially working. You can't breathe.
But yeah.
And it's just like everything that, the CDC, all these, or everything is changing. They keep changing things. It's different.
They said masks were no good a couple months ago. Now everybody-
Well, I think they were saying that, and they won't admit this, but I think they were saying that to make sure, like, they didn't care about us. They needed the health workers to have them first.
But
And then they figured out, well, wait a minute, they could just put something over their face.
Yeah.
you know what makes me mad? Because gloves don't work. You touch something with it, now you're crossing
Yeah, you have to take them off constantly.
People in Walmart, when we went over the weekend and got my fishing license, you should see all the dummies with gloves on. What's the point?
I think they were real.
Well, gloves. Listen,
I
that's
think they were
always
told
been
to
an
be gloves.
issue. If you go somewhere that serves food and you look and you see somebody with gloves on preparing your food, and then go over to the register and ring you up.
Yep. Yeah, you see them absentmindedly doing that a lot, especially like in gas stations and stuff that cook food.
You know, sometimes I think, you know, the difference between, and I don't want to say the left and the right, but okay, so we'll separate it there, is one side seems to think that people can't think for themselves and they need the government to do it for them. And when things like this happen, sometimes you scratch your head and you say, well, I can see their reasoning.
We made it this long.
Because some people really don't.
Yeah, but some people
They're not able
also,
to make decisions for themselves.
But some people also
Yeah.
like living off the government.
Yeah.
Some people can't make decisions for themselves.
See, I will never go that way because I believe everybody should have the same freedom across the board.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to think about it that way, then okay, that isn't that. What's that Darwin thing to select?
Yeah.
Oh,
For their own good, they should.
It'll work itself out.
Yeah. It usually does.
a lot of people are posting that, like
Those are the
Darwin.
people,
So-
those are the people that follow
so-
their GPS into a lake.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Wait a minute, wasn't that Mike? That was right here
Yep. Mike
in Scranton.
Yeah.
Who did
Lake,
it?
Lake Winola. He went into.
from The Office.
Oh my gosh.
It's a TV show.
Yeah, I know.
That's all I've heard. Since I've been 21 years old, where he from Scranton. Oh, where the office is.
I think that show's so stupid.
Oh, it's
I don't think it's funny at all.
so
I don't
So
think it's funny.
I think our podcast or face pods moving forward will be the ongoing saga of the social experiment.
Especially here in Pennsylvania with the
How do
Democratic.
people act and react?
But
Is there a balance between
now, get,
having to wipe people's butts and let them walk around, or let them walk around with a dirty butt?
now,
Did you get that one?
Oh no, sorry. Somebody said
I
it
said
happened for the
it's the
weekend.
difference between wiping somebody's backside or letting them walk around with a dirty backside.
Sure.
Right? So there's a difference between letting people be who they are or caring for them.
Yeah, nobody's actually staying home. They're just congregating in less places. So there's less places open, so they're all going to those places. It's just putting more people. If you opened everything up, it would spread everybody out a little bit. Now you keep like only a few places open. That's where everybody's
Well,
going.
and that's what it was too. You know, the fear was overwhelming the hospital, so you didn't want it to spike. Right? We didn't. We did that.
Yeah. Never.
Now, how far out are we going to spread this curve? Can we now let everybody go back and get over with it? Because it's all still going to happen. It's just how long you want to stretch it out.
I think it'll be life back to
Agreed.
pretty much normal by June 15th. Not in Lackawanna County, I don't think, but the
well,
rest of the
they
world.
had the radio had the mayor Paige Cognetti on today, and I think they asked her what she thinks, and she said hopefully we'll all be back.
She has no say.
I
It's
know.
all up to Tommy Wolf.
Well, see, here's the thing.
They ain't gonna go
But she
there.
has a say.
Yeah. But
Now,
she's
it might
she's
not be listened to.
Yeah, she's not gonna. Go
You know,
there.
but if she went to the governor and said, look, this is what I see, this is my
Yeah.
city, these are my people,
She-
this is what they're seeing and what they believe,
She toes the line.
right, she should at least still be communicating that with the governor, whether or not he's going to listen
She
to her
shut
or
it
not.
down longer than he told the set to shut it down for.
did.
It was like the 15th.
She did say she is communicating with the governor. She did say that on the radio.
He did veto those.
Open hair places and stuff.
Why?
Yeah, hair places.
And see, he
Feel
doesn't
like
give
real
it. They don't give it. You know, when you
Yeah.
ask about, oh, well, we met together, you know, we met and discussed it and we decided. Okay, but what did you use? What metric? How did you, there has to be,
I bet if you had a
it has to be quantitative. You have to say, okay, so many people have this, and this is what's going on here, and lay it out, because that is the reason why people are freaking out, because you're not giving anybody the
Well,
information.
yeah, everybody thinks, all right, well maybe on
What's it,
Friday,
just your
everything will
decision?
go.
It's just, you're...
Didn't
No,
he
he-
say on Friday though he's going to announce 12 more counties that can open up? Did he say that yesterday? On
Time's last like week. I don't know. I
But
don't-
see, the thing is, why? At least tell people why. The whole thing with oh well, you have more seniors residents in your county. That's the reason why your numbers are high. Okay, keep the seniors in their place.
Protect the sick.
It's a quarantine. You isolate the sick.
Yeah, nobody's actually following the quarantine except for people that can't actually go to work. The rest of the world's out.
Hey,
Go
stop
anywhere.
that and tell us about our store manager.
All right. Well, I'm stopping this. We've had enough. It's 11 minutes. Say goodbye.
Bye.
All right.